Everywhere, GBS.
A very good evening. My name is Beatrice Cherie. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge, and this is GBS News 9, coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. We have a lot lined up for you in our news segment tonight, but first, here are the highlights.
We recognize Sinda International Limited for embodying the spirit of responsible cooperation citizenship.
It is Mama doing good. First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto presides over the groundbreaking ceremony for Softcare Kenya sanitary pads and baby diapers factory in Athi River, Machakos.
This year's International Day of Forests theme aligns with Kenya's goal of maximizing the benefits of innovations in forestry management.
World Forest Day culminates with Cabinet Secretary for Environment Soipan Tuya issuing a clerical call for fruit trees planting.
The social media space, including TikTok, presents grave dangers to the world and to our society today.
After the US, now Kenya considering banning TikTok amid bad influence claims to society, Kindiki suspects. Kenya's Harambe Stars land safely in Lilongwe ahead of Four Nations League alongside the Under-20 team. And now the First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto today presided over the official launch of the construction of a new factory for Softcare Kenya, a manufacturer specializing in baby diapers, tissue and sanitary pads in Athi River, Machakos County. While citing the Sunda Group's dedication to empowering women in the country, the First Lady commended the director of Sunda's Group for their investment in manufacturing in Kenya, particularly through the Softcare brand of personal care products. Here are the details.
Aiming to promote local production and create more jobs for Kenyan youths, Softcare Kenya has today held its groundbreaking ceremony for its new factory, which will see it increase production. Speaking when she presided over the ceremony, the First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto commended Sunda Group for their commitment, not only in promoting local manufacturing, but also their corporate social responsibility efforts.
I extend heartfelt gratitude to the directors of Sunda Group for the investments in manufacturing, particularly through their software brand of personal care products and the Typhoid brand of flooring tiles. We recognize Sinda International Limited for embodying the spirit of responsible cooperation citizenship. Your initiatives such as providing schoolgirls in Machakos County with software sanitary towels and supporting the establishment of the Children's Office at Mavoko Law Courts are a show of commitment to uplifting vulnerable Kenyans and fostering positive change.
Mama, our youth are going to get employment. So far, 1,500 have gotten employment. Today, now you've broken ground for thousands and thousands of youths to get employment. Mama, our chamas now will be able to get a new line for business. We are going to sell our products from Sunda International, that is Softcare, our diapers to women groups, the sanitary towels to the mamas of this nation, and we are truly grateful for you.
On his part, Tom Lee, the Softcare Kenya Managing Director, underpinned the company's commitment to sourcing and supporting local labor, as 95% of its staff is Kenyan.
Softcare has directly created about 1,500 jobs for the staff, and 95% of them are local Kenyans. And regarding the local purchase and the procurement of cottons. For example, monthly we are procurement about 430,000 pieces of cottons from Kenya local cottons factories.
We have touched many girls and made sure that they are in school. And apart from staying in school because of the provision of sanitary towels, we also do counseling and stuff like that. That making sure girls have both physical needs met and psychological needs met.
Hilary Kabila, GBS News.
President William Ruto has vowed that his administration will recruit an additional 116,000 teachers by 2027 and hire 20,000 health workers. Speaking when he launched the country's fourth medium-term plan, covering the runs until 2027, President Ruto said the government plans to automate the basic education system, expand technical and vocational education and training, and scale up admissions to the National Open University. Here is more on this. President William Ruto presided over the launch of the fourth medium-term plan at the Nairobi State House on Thursday, which covers the last 5-year term of the Vision 2030 plan, 2023 to 2027.
The fourth medium-term plan, 2023-27, ladies and gentlemen, is an instrument that we will use as a whole of government to deliver on the aspirations that the people of Kenya expect.
Speaking at the launch, the head of state assured that his administration will hire 20,000 health workers and recruit an additional 116,000 teachers by 2027. The president said the government plans to automate the basic education system, expand technical and vocational education and training, and scale up admissions to the National Open University as well as open distance and e-learning.
Expand technical vocational education and training and scale up admissions to the National Open University as well as open distance and e-learning. In addition, the institutional framework for financing tertiary education has been adopted and will be strengthened in the medium term.
Ruto revealed that quality and affordable healthcare remains a key priority of his government, targeting to expand the social health insurance scheme to 10.8 million households. His administration will focus on digitizing health services and improving health infrastructure during the 4 years.
20,000 health workers will also be recruited to support the health commodities supply chain. We all know that KEMSA has always been a thorn in the flesh, if I may say. But we have taken steps to make sure that not only KEMSA is digitized, but professionalized, and we are giving them additional staff.
Other areas that the government wants to give priority by 2027 are market access and logistics support, expansion of irrigation infrastructure, adoption of climate-smart agriculture, enhanced agricultural financing, and agricultural mechanization research and development. Environmental enthusiasts from Kirinyaga County gathered at Kangaita Forest Block of Larger Mount Kenya to mark World Forest Day by planting tree seedlings. Led by Kirinyaga County Commissioner Hussein Alaso, the stakeholders planted over 5,000 trees seedlings of assorted species of indigenous trees. The commissioner challenged the Kirinyaga residents to join hands in planting as well as conserving the environment. He noted that the county has passed the target of 30% tree cover and in addition focusing on achieving 70 million trees in 10 years as set in the presidential agenda. Kirinyaga County Forest Conservator Kenneth Muthuri said the county has 23.6% forest cover, totaling to 30,870 acres, which and 30.39% tree cover, which makes it well covered in terms of targets. Dida Warrior, team-led Mount Kenya Sustainable Landscapes and Livelihoods Program, say they will continue to partner with the government in environmental conservation.
Tengeneze teknolojia yenye inaweza monitor the migration of these elephants. Jambo la tatu is with opportunities for young people in the environment space. We were with Mama Njeri juzi alinipeleka kwa msitu, tuliona there's a very beautiful waterfall ndani. There's colobus monkeys which is very rare to find. Na hii yote ni vitu watalii wanataka kulipia kuja kuona. So kwa hivyo kama vijana tunafaa kupata hata kazi kwa a lot of these opportunities in the environment space to also take care of our environment. Lastly, because I want to keep it very short, is to to thank our CS. You're doing phenomenally well with this initiative, 15 billion.
We talk about climate action. We must also speak about the food security need, the water security needs, and the development needs, and general livelihoods of the communities of this country. Those two cannot be discussed in isolation. This year's International Day of Forests theme aligns with Kenya's goal of maximizing the benefits of innovations in forestry management. We have been able to observe a few case examples of very critical innovations, right from the drones that we saw out there, up to some of the demonstrations given to us, even by CFAs, on great innovations that will amplify our protection of our forests, but also speaking to the needs of the communities. It is worth noting that on this day, the ministry, in collaboration with respective governments in all 47 counties, will plant a targeted 5.2 million tree seedlings only where the soil moisture build allows. Because I like to say that you better plant 2 or 3 or 5 trees that you can see through to nurturing and up to maturity. Na endelea kuwasisitizia wa Kenya tusiwe tusiwe na wepesi.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. On that note, let us take a very fast break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Insight Tonight. My name is Eugene Ochienko and you're watching GBS TV.
Yes, we have had partnerships. First and foremost, I want to talk about the nearest to me, IYF, very helpful. They have taken us through mind training. And personally, I've been taken for mind training, not just in Kenya. I went out to Korea, and we were different public servants from different departments of different governments across the world.
He said that he supports the bill. And now it has already passed the 2 steps, and it is going to be implemented. But you are not the first person to raise these questions. Kenyans have raised the same questions. Actually, there was this Kenyan who was asking in a funny way, and it went viral. Nani hana kwao? Nani hana kwao? And I believe the reason as why it went viral is because Kenyans could relate to this. But now, how come you're supporting this?
What are the key challenges or opportunities in this dynamic landscape?
Well, urbanization is our future, whether we like it or not. And we see it all around us, including in this beautiful country, in Kenya. Our next World Urban Forum, which is our prime platform for bringing together all the various actors in the area of urbanization and sustainable cities together every 2 years on a global platform. So next one will be held from the 4th to the 8th of November this year in Cairo, in Egypt.
There's nothing that can happen to a man, not unless God allows it to happen.
Do according to him, and he shall love you. He shall love them, and he shall take care of them. Because he says, those who love me, I will hold their hands till the end of time.
Invite someone to come to your house one of the things that they cannot forget is the phone charge. When it comes to relationships and probably communication, that distance is not a barrier.
Yeah.
But it is in communication, in effective communication.
So have you told your daughter how they acquire HIV and AIDS? When I go to speak in school, they will tell me, ukimwi ni mnyama mbaya. And no, sio mnyama. They have to know how it happens.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News 9. The implementation of the fourth medium-term plan 2023 to 2024 that was launched on Thursday morning by President William Ruto will be closely monitored and evaluated. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi says the uniqueness of the plan calls for proper implementation for it to achieve the set goals. He has warned that the leadership at all levels to take its implementation seriously, as President Ruto is keen and focused to see its full implementation. The fourth medium-term plan 2023 to 2027, anchored under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive growth, is a national reporting indicator whose primary objective is to monitor the execution of key functions within the government ministries, state departments, and agencies. This with an aim to enhance transparency, efficiency, and accountability through representing a clear set of indicators and targets within the framework of the Vision 2030 guided under the constitutional principles. Each sector has both the outcome and key output indicators with annual targets. These indicators play a crucial role in allowing citizens to examine the level of implementation of policies, programs, and projects.
This is a unique launch, a very unique launch. Why? Because it is happening at State House. What does this signal? I can at least think of two things. First, it signals high-level approval and ownership of the MTP4 plan. Essentially, the buck stops here. The second thing that I would say it signals is that there will be close monitoring and evaluation of the implementation of the plan from the highest level. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, there shall be very little room to wriggle outside this framework. Finally, I think it also symbolizes that this is a national plan, a program for the Republic of Kenya. It is going to be the framework for engagement with our international partners and friends, with the citizens of Kenya, with our friends and partners, and it also provides the broad framework to engage with the private sector here and beyond.
4, together with the county integrated development plans, are aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda objectives and priorities. Therefore, the fourth medium-term plan has translated the strategic objectives set out in our agenda into concrete programs and projects to be implemented in the plan period.
The government has raised concerns over the security implications posed by platforms like TikTok. In a session before the Public Petitions Committee, the government underscored the platform's alleged role in disseminating war, propaganda, and spreading malicious content. This comes in the wake of mounting pressure from various stakeholders, including public petitions calling for a ban on TikTok due to its perceived erosion of cultural and religious values. Susan Nganga with the details.
In an era dominated by rapidly evolving digital landscapes, TikTok has emerged as more than just a social media platform. It has seamlessly transformed into a popular source of information. The app's engaging format, characterized by short-form videos, and innovative content creation, has facilitated a paradigm shift in the way information is disseminated and consumed. Nevertheless, amidst its burgeoning influence, apprehension about data privacy regulations and content moderation loom large. In Kenya, the government now claims that social media platforms, including TikTok, pose a threat to the security in the country. He appeared before the Public Petitions Committee on Thursday, claiming that the social media application is being used to generate war propaganda and spread malicious and unlawful content.
The social media space, including TikTok, presents grave dangers to the world and to our society today. The government of Kenya is in contact with TikTok, and we have raised concerns relating to the way TikTok is processing their data related activities. In particular, the government of Kenya has requested from the owners and operators of TikTok to provide to us the levels of compliance with our laws.
Last year, a petitioner called on the members of parliament to ban the use of TikTok, saying it is a contributor to erosion of cultural and religious morals in the society.
Of TikTok in Kenya, that my office has received a petition from one Mr. Bob Ndolo regarding the banning of TikTok in Kenya. Honorable members, the petition decries that while it has gained popularity among the youth in Kenya, the content that is being shared on the platform is inappropriate, thus promoting violence, explicit sexual content, hate speech, vulgar language, offensive behavior, which is a serious threat to the cultural and religious values of Kenya.
Shortly after the petition, President William Ruto said that inappropriate or offensive content will be expurged from the short-form video platform TikTok.
Tomorrow morning, I will be speaking to the global CEO of TikTok. I know we've had a conversation as a country around TikTok and some of the challenges that are in that space. And like we have moderation capacities of the other platforms, YouTube and Twitter, tomorrow morning we are having that conversation with the global CEO of TikTok so that we can agree on a mechanism to moderate content in their space so that we can reduce the content that is negative and leverage on the monetization that is benefiting a lot more people.
Susan Nganga, GBS News.
In its commitment to increase internet connectivity across the country, the government has unveiled plans to bridge the digital divide by linking a staggering 8.4 million homes to the internet. Leveraging on the already existing Kenya Power's infrastructure, the ambitious project aims to transform households into hubs of digital opportunity by 2027. Speaking during the annual National Public Key Infrastructure Forum 2024, Telecommunications Principal Secretary Edward Kisiangani, stated that the project will help connect more Kenyans to internet access through a government-to-government agreement with the power utility firm. Here is more on the same.
The government now targets to link 8.4 million homes to internet access by pushing fiber optic cables through Kenya power lines by 2027. According to Edward Kisiangani, the Broadcasting and Telecommunications Principal Secretary, the government will take the fiber optic cables to rural areas using the existing Kenya Power infrastructure.
Kenya Power already knows where those homes are. So we can achieve our objective, not just about kilometers, but about homes. And our strategy is that if we work the way we have started, and the chair is here, CA is the one giving that money. We have already appropriated 10 billion shillings from the USF fund to help us move, because I know you will ask about the money, and make sure that Kenya Power is a G2G. Kenya Power takes the fiber optic cable into homes.
Estimated to cost 10 billion Kenyan shillings from the Universal Service Fund, PS Kisiangani stated that the project will help connect more Kenyans to internet access through a government-to-government agreement with the power utility firm. The USF was set up in 2009 when the government began collecting levies from telecom operators to facilitate ICT connectivity in both unserved and underserved areas across the country. The fund, managed by the Universal Service Advisory Council under the Communications Authority of Kenya, has seen the CK roll out ICT projects in areas that previously could not access these services. Hilary Kabila, GBS News.
A non-government organization, Staisha Africa Initiative, has launched a digital literacy program targeting teen mothers in Siaya. According to the Executive Director of Staisha Africa Initiative, Dan Odur, the initiative aims at empowering young mothers to exploit opportunities within the digital space. Speaking during the launch of the program at Ngia in Siaya County, Odur said that through the digital literacy project, the NGO will strive to bridge the gap in the digital literacy space, especially for young women, with the focus being teen mothers who are considered as the underprivileged persons in the society. Ajira Digital Program official Beatrice Ottawa say that the project targets to train at least 70% of young women across the country who will be linked to the jobs once they have finished the training. The Assistant Chief of Moringia Sublocation, Mrs. Grace Otieno, commended the program, noting that it will change young women's socio-economic standards. The first cohort of Staisha Africa's digital literacy program, led by Ivy Awor and Audrey Muhonja, expressed their heartfelt gratitude to the organization, noting that this will tremendously impact their lives.
My name is Dan Joshua Odur, founder and director, Staisha Africa Initiative. Staisha is an NGO based in Ngia, Siaya County. We are working with young people and their families to be able to change the narrative from being victims to victors. Today we are launching a new project within our programs. It is called Digital Literacy Project. This is looking to bridge the gap in the digital literacy space, especially for young women. We will be engaging boys at a later date, but then the center of focus right now are teenage mothers, who by all standards are considered as underprivileged members of this community.
Free and mentorship, we have job linkages. We link them with different partners that we work with, and they're also able to work remotely. Apart from that, of course, the young people, when they're being trained, there is that notion of we need to have certificates, so we also give them certificates. For those who have not joined this program, I would urge you to come on board, because we get to network with different organizations, and you also get to learn more skills. And even as we were having this launch at Staisha, they're having a digital hub. One of the main agendas that was raised is, as young women, it's
kwa usaidizi wote ambao tumeweza kupewa na tumeweza kunufaika sana. Pia tumeweza kufika pahali ambapo tulikuwa tunatarajia kufika kimaisha na pia kielimu. Tumefurahi sana kupata maelekezo na kuelimishwa kuhusu vitu tofauti. Na tumejua ya kwamba baada ya hapa tutaweza kuwa tutaweza kuwa na venye tunaweza jisaidia, pia venye tunaweza pata hata pesa ya kujikimu, pia kujilinda. Tusiwe tunabaki tu tukiparara, tuweze saidia watoto wetu, tuweze kujikimu sisi wenyewe bila kutegemea mtu yeyote. Pia tumejua tukishafunzwa hii mafunzo na kompyuta, tunaweza pata kazi ambazo zitatuwezesha kupata pesa zetu sisi wenyewe bila kuomba mtu yeyote, ambapo unapata wasichana wengi wanakosa kufanya kazi zao wao wenyewe ama kujifunza kitu cha mkono ambacho wanaweza pata pesa zao, wanaelekea kwa vitu tofauti ambazo zinawaweka katika.
Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our new segment tonight, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
What has fitness to do with health?
So it's a lifestyle. There are lifestyle diseases because we change from where we used to be, from a place where you're not able to afford these things. But now because you can afford, you do, thinking it's the best way to go about it.
It's very unfortunate that these things come to you when you are 45.
Yeah. And that's why you find even young people nowadays, we're losing very young people, treat people to blood pressure. It's not a weight issue. Their cardio health is at risk because they're not active.
I know you know very well. I just don't know why you don't do this.
When you exercise, you release some feel-good hormones. You feel amazing. You feel like you can conquer the world.
This is the underrated solution for all sicknesses and all diseases that you may have to fight in this world.
Has been a life full of tears.
Tulikuwa tunajua tako nyako, tukateseka na mama.
Pain, agony and desperation, with the slightest bit of hope almost gone.
Sina baba wala mama na sina mtu wa kunisaidia. Ninapitia maisha magumu sana.
But with a tender touch from a few who care and beckoned a smile to wipe away our tears, our faces are now lit up in ever-blazing hope. As we join hearts and delight together with all of you for reminding us that God cares.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast, and now to matters international news. In a startling report released by the International Labour Organization, shed light on the alarming rise profits generated from forced labor in the private economy, generating a staggering $236 billion in illegal profits annually. The report revealed a dramatic escalation with illegal profits from forced labor surging by $64 billion since 2014, marking a significant 37% increase. Here are the details.
Forced labor takes many forms, ranging from the debt bondage to the human trafficking, affecting individuals across the globe, often in the most vulnerable communities. The ILO findings underscore the urgent need for concerted efforts to combat this pervasive and abhorrent practice.
The headline result is that the total annual illegal profits from forced labor amount to a staggering figure of $236 billion annually. This translates to an average of about $10,000 in illegal profits per forced labor victim annually. What is the significance of these numbers? These profits are at the heart of the existence of forced labor. They are so vast that represent a major driving force behind the perpetration of forced labor crimes. The human toll is also incalculable.
The rise also in profits from forced labor has been deeply troubling, highlighting the failure of the current mechanisms to effectively address this issue.
These illegal profits represent wages, resources, livelihoods effectively stolen from workers. This not only affects the workers themselves, but also their families and the flow of migrant remittances, disrupting entire communities.
It is imperative that governments, businesses, and civil society work together to strengthen enforcement mechanisms, protect victims, and hold the perpetrators accountable.
One key finding of the report is that the largest share of illegal profits from forced labor is due to forced commercial sexual exploitation rather than forced labor exploitation. Although forced commercial sexual exploitation accounts for 27% of all people in privately imposed forced labor, it accounts for 73% of total illegal profits, meaning $173 billion annually.
The report served as a stark reminder of the human cost of the forced labor and the urgent need for a quick action. As we confront the global challenge, noting the importance of prioritizing the protection of human rights and dignity for all individuals, same time working towards a future where forced labor will be eradicated once and for all.
This number is precisely at the root of the forced labor situation that we witness today in the world. The profits are so vast that they are precisely cause of the forced labor situation that we witness in the world today.
Jane from Macau, GBS News.
The Weather Kids campaign, a joint effort by the United Nations Development Programme, the World Meteorological Organization, and UNICEF, officially kicked off earlier on March 21st, leading up to World Meteorological Day, the launch of a groundbreaking initiative aimed at raising awareness about climate change and inspiring action for a sustainable future. Across the globe, broadcasters and online platforms have joined forces to broadcast weather forecasts with a twist and instead of the usual adult presenters. These forecasts were delivered by children, screening a projected forecast for 2050, providing a unique perspective on climate-related issues, same time creating a brighter and more sustainable tomorrow for the generations to come.
Weather report. From up there to down here, everything is crazy. If we don't listen to scientists, things are going to be even crazier when I grow up. Let's look at the forecast for 2050. Heat waves will affect 94% of children, making playing outside a thing of the past.
Without accelerated climate action, children born in the year 2020 could experience up to 7 times more extreme weather events, like scorching heat waves, during their lifetimes compared to their grandparents. This new Weather Kids campaign is part of our response to listen to and act upon the growing concerns of young people across the world for their rights and their futures.
Well, the stakes couldn't be higher. 2023 is already the hottest year on record, and we're seeing these impacts be more widespread and devastating than ever before. Everyone on the planet is experiencing extreme heat, floods, wildfires. It's really terrifying. And progress is possible. We're seeing people, governments, communities around the world start to take bold climate action. And we know we need to do more. Every government in the world has to put forward a national pledge under the Paris Agreement. They are getting stronger, but we need them to be even more stronger. And this is where people come in. They have to urge their leaders to take bold climate action. You're 10 years old. By the time you get to 2050, you're in your mid-30s. And the way the climate has changed will affect the food you eat, the jobs you have, will affect your ability to travel around the world. It will affect everything. And so it's really important that adults today are keeping that in mind.
Delving into the latest developments regarding the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen issued urgent calls for international action on Wednesday to address the catastrophic hunger gripping the region. Here are the details.
In a joint statement following the discussions on the dire situation in Gaza, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres emphasized that nothing justified the collective punishment, referring to the plight of the Palestinian people. Guterres stressed on the urgency of the situation, with over 1 million individuals facing catastrophic hunger, according to the recent scientific assessments.
And nothing justifies the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. Today, more than half of the population, over 1 million people, are facing catastrophic hunger, according to the scientific classification that was recently published. And so we must act now before it is too late. I call on the Israeli authorities to ensure complete and unfettered access for humanitarian goods throughout Gaza, and for the international community to fully support our humanitarian efforts.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen echoed the sentiments, reaffirming the European Union's commitment to providing aid to Gaza, announcing an additional allocation of 125 million euros for humanitarian assistance, with a significant portion already contracted to the key UN partners.
We are also very concerned about the risks a full-scale offensive in Rafah would have on the vulnerable civilian population. This needs to be avoided by all costs. In the meantime, we do everything we can to channel more aid to Gaza. We allocated an additional 125 million euros for humanitarian aid for Palestinians in 2024. Out of this total, 81 million has already been contracted to key UN partners, such as the World Food Programme, WHO, and UNICEF.
Both leaders called on the Israeli authorities to ensure complete and unfettered access to the necessary goods throughout Gaza, same time urging the international community to support the humanitarian efforts.
The flow of aid by land is too slow. So we call for the opening of more land crossings while we further develop alternatives. For example, the airdrops, and of course through the maritime corridor we opened from Cyprus. And I'm very glad that after Open Arms' successful operation was completed, but now, of course, we need to see many more such ships and deliveries in the maritime corridor to Gaza. But of course, we must also continue to focus the actual delivery of aid to Palestinians on the ground. We have seen the images of food distribution among stampede and chaos, so we must work on safe delivery of aid. While we address the emergency of the crisis, we must also...
As the humanitarian condition in Gaza continues to worsen, calls for action from the international community now grow louder, with millions of lives at stake, while urgent measures are needed to alleviate the suffering and pave the way for a lasting solution.
Prepare for the day after. Europe will support recovery and reconstruction as soon as conditions allow, and we need to build a clear political path towards a two-state solution. Let us go over there.
Jane from Macau, GBS News.
Let's go to Harare, where a significant ceremony unfolded on March 21st through the Russian Urakam Group, which made a momentous transfer of fertilizers to Zimbabwe, marking a milestone strengthening ties in their bilateral relations in the realm of agricultural cooperation. The fertilizers being transferred are expected to play a crucial role in boosting Zimbabwe's agricultural output. Agriculture serves as the backbone of Zimbabwe's economy, and the timely provision of fertilizer is essential for improving crop yields and ensuring food self-sufficiency.
We welcome Russia's continued support in our ongoing efforts to consolidate and strengthen our agriculture sector towards building greater resilience.
So today, the Eurochem group of companies is donating 23,000 tons of fertilizer to the people of Zimbabwe. So for now, we have sent 134,000 tons of fertilizer, of which 111,000 was sent to African countries in close cooperation and collaboration with the United Nations World Food Programme.
And let us not forget that food security cannot be achieved without fertilizers, as they ensure growth, resilience, and productivity of agricultural crops. The humanitarian shipment of 23,000 of fertilizers, comprising of potash and complex fertilizers, was made in implementation of the initiative by President Putin announced back in 2022. It was organized by the joint efforts of Uralchem, the major producer of fertilizers in Russia, and of the United Nations World Food Programme.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That international news brings us to our sports news. Let's get sporty. Kenya's tennis sensation Angela Okutoyi is the new African Games women's single champion after winning the 13th edition by defeating Lamis El Hussein from Egypt. Angela Okutoyi has qualified for the Paris Olympics after clinching singles gold at African Games in Accra, Ghana. She targets to storm the top 400 in the Women's Tennis Association ranking. She is currently ranked 532. The 2022 Wimbledon doubles junior champion Angela Okutoyi defeated Egyptian Abdel Aziz Lamis 6-4, 6-2 to win the African Games tennis title. The three-time winner Open champion dominated the match from the opening games to take a 3-0 lead. Lamis was not going down without a fight and broke Okutoyi's serve in the 4th and 5th games to reduce the deficit to 3-2. Okutoyi's strong service game and agility powered by the way the 5th and the 6th games and the lead 4-2, but Lamis fought back to tie the match at 4-4 in captivating first set. Okutoyi showed her resilience and carried the momentum and agility to race to victory in the win of the final 2 games in the set. Okutoyi had edged that 70th ranked Mayor Cherie of Egypt 5-7, 7-5, 7-6 in an epic semi-final. The 20-year-old becomes the first Kenyan to win gold in the category since the 1978 Games. The Kenya national team Harambe Stars alongside the under-20 Rising Stars safely arrived in Lilongwe, Malawi on Thursday, March 21st at 10 a.m. Gor Mahia Sharif Musa and AFC Leopards Vincent Mahiga have also joined the Harambe Stars traveling squad. This is ahead of the scheduled four-nation tournament to be staged at the Bingu National Stadium. The tournament shall pit Kenya against host Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The Rising Stars shall be the first to take to the pitch on Friday, March 22nd against Zimbabwe. They will thereafter take on host Malawi on Sunday, March 24th. Harambe Stars, in the meantime, will play host Malawi in the semi-finals of the competition on Saturday at the Bingu National Stadium. The third playoff and finals have been scheduled for Tuesday at the same venue. Stars coach Injin Firat shall be using competition to prepare the team for the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers in June. The window also offers the coach an opportunity to play more matches and try out different options within the short international window. The Rising Stars, in the meantime, shall have a chance to showcase their potential in the competition. The team, which is scheduled to play even more international matches this year, is envisioned to be a conveyor belt of talent to the senior teams. "29 participants achieved a significant milestone by earning their CAF D certificate in Langata on Wednesday. Most notable are two football players, AFC Leopards Kevin Kimani and former Posta Rangers Denson Kago, highlighting the growing importance of planning for life beyond the pitch. A professional football player career lasts a few years, making it important for football players to consider their post-football futures. This aligns perfectly with the Football Kenya Federation's mission to establish a clear pathway for players to transition into other roles within football and, in this case, a coaching career. This not only allows them to stay connected to the sport they love, but also contribute to nurturing the next generation of football talent within the country. Kevin Kimani, current AFC Leopards player, bears ambition to coach at the highest levels after retirement. Another player that just completed the class was former Posta Rangers player Danson Kaga, who has just retired from professional football and looks to give back to his community through football. Starting CAF D coaching course ran for 10 days, was under the tutelage of Coach Matthew Sam.
Of modernized coaching, you know, and also through FKF, through the President Nick Mwendwa. I'm so happy to have such a platform because I'm planning to retire soon. So I had a plan that before I retire, maybe I start doing something so that when I retire, I just integrate into coaching. So for me, it's all about the love of the game and also coming from a place whereby we didn't have qualified coaches. And through the help of our federation and also our able coaches, we are able to get something that most of the people are not privileged to. So I'm really happy for this platform and also for the opportunity.
Teams are emerging. From what we've been doing, we've started the Nairobi Elite Youth League that needs a lot of support, knowledge. We are training young kids. You can't train young kids with people who are not trained. So that's why we are doing so many of them, because there are many academies that are coming up, and many schools now are coming back to affiliate with the federation to play football, and we are training their teachers. We have so many organizations around. We are training their coaches. We are encouraging former players, guys who are not very active in terms of playing, because football is also football is largely an industry. Being that it's an industry, many people have realized that for them to move forward, they need qualified coaches. We have a lot of requests. It has now forced us to make sure that we train coaches per sub-branches. In Nairobi West, we have 7 sub-branches. So today we are doing for Langata, which we've just closed today. Next week we'll be doing also a referring coaching training course again here in Nairobi prisons. From here we're moving next month. We are moving to Staisha. So we want to go around. We want to give.
And that sports news brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. And as always, here at GBS News at 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Cherie. Our sign language interpreter is Bolma Thenge. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.